Suh Dudes, Mr. Fee the Aquarium Dude, here not just with my assistant Theo, but also a special guest, my childhood dog. Her name is Riley. She's about 12 years old. Come here, Riley. Oh, not you, Theo. He bothers the crap out of her. No. So yeah, she's a miniature Australian Shepherd, but she's the runt of the litter. Okay, Riley, we'll see you later. So today, though, we're not going to look at dogs. We're not looking at rainbows. We're not looking at apistos. We're not looking at, my tire track eel who's just got fed some krill with the rest of my fish. And so he actually is nocturnal. He's usually not out at this hour, but a little food gets him up. My Calvis love the krill as well. They actually can't eat bloodworms. It gets them all bloated. And so I don't actually feed them that. Today is not going to be about any of those fish. It's not going to be about a fish at all. Today is going to be about my blue velvet shrimp and the tank that I set up, my reasoning why. And if you remember in an older video, I had a cherry shrimp colony actually in this very tank. And when I moved them down from a 5-gallon to a 10-gallon tank, the whole colony just crashed. I think, if I'm going to take a guess, I had too much Java moss in there. It covered over half of the tank, and I think maybe they were just running around too much, Corey from Aquarium Co-op brings up the idea that, if they got to run a mile to eat a chip, it's only a matter of time until, they run out of calories. So, I've really been wanting some shrimp, and so I got 6 blue velvet shrimp, which are a type of what they call Neocaridino shrimp. And that means that, they're just a harder water one. Caridino shrimp, like crystal shrimp, want really soft water, like RO water, which means reverse osmosis. So these are a little easier to keep. I've seen videos online that say the other ones aren't, but, I've had success with these. And so I'm just going to walk you through and just step by step what I did to get this shrimp tank set up and what I think is going to lead to a good amount of success. So dude, stick with it, and let's check out some shrimp. Alright, like I said, setting up my blue velvet shrimp tank. Let this thing go full of mulm just to kind of show you what I was feeding them for the first, month or so. I wanted to upgrade it. This guy fits in the same spot. And, you see it finished a second ago, but it just fit way nicer. I thought, why not give him a bigger habitat? So I just wanted to show you the moss fill up there. I actually I don't even know, just to let them migrate through. They were time for a water change. And so I was keeping it below this line just to let that mulm and algae grow on this tank. And I just filled it up, let them kind of migrate back and forth, a big water change about a week ago. And so you can see most of them have migrated over. They're just eating that bacteria there. So, I just pulled this thing out. So they're not super happy. So I'm going to bucket all these guys out, escape this tank. You see it with that sand from the old 55 tank. And so we're going to get going. And you'll be able to see that final product. Oh boy, I had to pull the camera back out. I was pulling these guys out. And one of them was hiding in a shrimp. I'm keeping it over in case he jumps. But look at him, just in his own little world. He could live in there for, I don't know, how long can shrimp live in a puddle? But I'll let him back out with his buddies. Alright, back to work. One more. Alright, dude, so the tank's coming together. I got a Anubias that was out of this tank, and I grabbed some Java fern that was in this tank, and so I got quite a high piece of sand there with 2 pieces of slate that are kind of holding it back like a barrier, just to make a little more elevation. The sand obviously is going to settle flatter and flatter, and something I'll have to maintain. But yeah, so that's what I got going there. You'll see with it all cleared up. But when it comes to the filter, one thing that I wanted to do is try to get as much black out as I could, right? To bring out that lighter blue color and less of a dark black blue color. And so I got some pinky floss out and just a little white zip tie and just kind of folded it around it so that way it's just a little lighter. It's not as thick as well. You know, that thing, they really just, you had to see one. You know, they're a lot thicker, take up a lot more space, and already a pretty dense aquarium. So, you know, just the profile of it, I can kind of squeeze it in a little better. So, just wanted to show you how I did it. You know, this pinky floss is right here. It came in a big roll, and you know, I've just been using it for filters for 6 months, 8 months, and I still got some left. So check it out, pinky floss. All right, dudes. Hopefully you enjoyed the setup of just kind of some of the things that I had to deal with as I set it up, some of my reasoning behind things. To add to that, the shells they're not just for decoration. They serve a purpose of adding calcium into the water. And so shrimp can really have problems with their shells if you have too acidic of a water. If you would have, you know, or at least for neocardinos. So you wouldn't want to have like a black water setup when I was breeding those tetras. They are pretty hardy once they get established though. The other aspect is the Java moss back there. And so I have just been putting some in there from other tanks, and it's actually the biggest source of food for them. So as these balls of moss sit in all the different tanks, they take in some of the food that's in there. And so they're able to kind of pick off of it. You can really tell here, it's obvious that they don't actually eat like this leaf, for example. They're wiping their hands on the thing, getting the bacteria off, and then licking it off of their hands. You see those little black dots around it are poop, and they'll actually pick up their own poop and just kind of lick the bacteria off of it. So, you know, when you put a shrimp pellet in there, it's not like they're actually gonna eat the pellet. They're just gonna wipe on the pellet for a long time. And so I prefer to just put a powder of things in there, like maybe bug bites. I'll crush into powder and just put a little bit on there that I actually use for my fry food. So I'll put that in there too sometimes, but just a couple of the things that actually have a reasoning behind it. We got my Anubias is doing good, Java Fern's doing good. This Wandering Jew I think is just awesome. I love plants that grow out of the aquarium. And so it's not an aquatic plant at all. My mom had a piece, and so I took a piece from her. She gave me a piece, only about that big. It grows really fast. And to propagate it, it just shoots out these runners off to the side that you just pluck it, put it in water, and it roots. So if you find some Wandering Jew, I love the purple it adds there. So if you have any questions, leave a comment. Don't be afraid to hit that like button and subscribe. Hit the bell if you don't want to miss the next video. Projects are in the works. So Mr. Few the Aquarium Dude, out.